Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. What's going on, team? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to the morning. We got TQQQ with a nice little pullback. Not looking too bad over here. Buy a couple more shares. See if we actually begin to indicate signs of an overall reversal. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. We had people freaking out in the chat. What's up, guys? How you guys all doing today? Good morning. What's going on, Joey? What's going on, Victor? What's up, Yusuf? George, Faisal. We got Polly, Villy, Omar, Raymond, Milan, Steven, Space, Laszlo, Olivia, Storm, Kevin, Stacy. What's up? What's up? Huge push on TQQQ. Wow, out of nowhere. Pre-market session was pretty choppy to say the least. Looks like that moving average on that 5-minute time frame is still acting as a support level. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Hope that you are all doing well. Let's see which way we end up heading. Can we actually hold above this moving average, or is it just testing before a solid little drop? It looked during the pre-market session that SQQQ was trying to make these higher highs and higher lows to some degree. But just like we can see right at market open, there's a quick shift of direction. So we're going to have to stay light, keep it tight, and see which way we go. All right, there it goes. Slight little pullback. Back in the red for TQQQ. Let's see, testing EMA right around 50.26. I want to see the drop below $50 a share. Elon made an offer to buy Twitter at 50. Yep, I saw that. I saw that news in the morning. 53, what the heck? Twitter. There it goes. Check that out. Drop below 50. SQQQ pushing, not bad. Twitter pumped up to 53. Surprise, surprise. And then now it's pulling on back. Yeah, you know Twitter's not going to accept that. It's more of a flex. That's how I see it. I view that as a flex. Of like Elon's like, I'll buy the whole company. Twitter would never sell. Not right now. I wouldn't think so. Not like this. It's more embarrassing. But we shall see. I mean, hey, you never know. Imagine that. Twitter will have a meeting at 10 a.m. Is that Eastern Standard Time, Bruno? All right, here we go. SQQQ trying to gap up. Finding its support. Again, 5-minute time frame. Testing for the 1,000th time. Will we break below this support? Probably not. Probably not. More optimistic than anything. It was really bullish yesterday, right? Oh, one thing that I did want to point out is on the 1-hour time frame, we could see these lower highs forming, right? So it does break above the EMA and then it drops, right? It breaks above and then it drops, and then it breaks above and then it drops. But we shall see today, right? Well, we drop below the EMA, which is right around 49.75. If we drop below that, are we headed back to $47? A question that we should all be asking ourselves, right? TQQ has not been the most bullish. It hasn't yet. But what if we actually begin to drop? Then maybe, right? Look at that, $50 for its support. Testing. There it goes. Just dropped below $50. Let's watch it bleed. Let's see if it does bleed. Look at that. Look at that support. TQQQ is going to be like, gotcha. Psych. Today, several banks and institutions report earnings. Yep. Let's see. All right, we got Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, What else do we have? So this is during the day. That's weird. I don't normally see that. Before market open, before market open. Let's actually just go down the list, right? So let's double click these. Let's go down that list. So we got Citigroup. There it goes. SQQQ rising as of right now. Please be very, very careful. Citigroup up 2.6%. Not bad, right? So looks like we got positive earnings there. We got Goldman Sachs 2.6% as well. A lot of them, most of them in the green. There's very few ones. So we got Ally Financial, Ally Bank. You guys should be aware of that. In the red, Progress Corp in the red. Ericsson, I don't know what that is. Let's see if there's anything significant here. No, wouldn't say, especially down here. Probably not going to find much there. Yeah, no, I'm good. All right, so let's go back to TQQQ. There it goes. Drop below the EMA. Let's see. I'm just going to add a few shares. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it light. I'm going to hold off. Give me 1 second. There it goes. New lows. That is actually looking pretty good. There it goes. 49.75. Do you guys remember on the 1 hour time frame? We just talked about this. Bearish territory is among us, right? Pretty much it's everything that we gained yesterday. That's the potential at risk. I'm not here to say that it's going to happen. I'm just saying that, hey, if you didn't lock in profits on your TQQQ position, I would just be aware. You don't have to sell, right? Just because something pulls back doesn't mean that you have to sell. Just like when something pushes up, you don't have to celebrate because your intention is not to sell that same day. So I think that's why I sent out that message yesterday in the announcement section. Was it in the announcement section? I guess it wasn't. But I tagged everyone, right? I made sure that I tried to make it very clear of like, I'm so happy to see that so many people had such a success yesterday. It was a very green day. But that also shouldn't like fog up your focus for tomorrow. Every day presents new challenges and we need to be aware of that, right? We need to be aware of that as traders. My job here is not just to hype you up about how amazing you are, but it's to keep you level-headed. That every day, especially as a trader, presents new challenges. So yesterday might have been amazing, but today is a completely new day. It doesn't matter how much you made yesterday, last week, or the month before that. Every day is a new challenge. So please make sure that you're aware of that. I don't want you to experience a roller coaster of emotion nonstop. If you think big picture, then on the day-to-day, it shouldn't influence your emotions as much. Still does to some degree, but not as much. So again, watch for the potential support here. It's still within that range. It could easily still find its support. So let's not get super confident that it's going to find its support right here. There it goes, retesting. I want to see how it looks on the 1 minute. No, it's bleeding. It's still bleeding. I mean, there's quite a bit of selling pressure. Here it goes. Potential support. Let's see. All right, let it bleed, let it bleed. Let me see. Cited support. How are you guys? I wanted to ask you guys, how are you guys all feeling about today? Do you think that we talked enough about the market pulling back for you guys to know that, hey, it wasn't certain that the market had to recover right away? I feel like we talked about that yesterday. I talked about it for exactly this reason. Because if you ask the question, why did the market go up? I mean, there's no real reason. I mean, they were just factoring in that some companies had good earnings. That's great. It's not, it's not the most amazing thing, right? It's just a forecast for everyone supposedly to be reporting positive earnings, and it just gets factored into the market. Waiting for better confirmation, choppy chop. So why is Twitter falling after hours today? The Twitter thing is, again, I feel like people can kind of like read through the lines when it comes down to Elon's offer. So yeah, and I think it's a way that, I mean, imagine if they do accept him acquiring Twitter at $53 a share, which Twitter's very oversold right now. It would be embarrassing for Twitter to accept that. I'm going to reduce it here. Let's see. Well, we just dropped below 49.50, which was pretty significant. All right, sold half. Just keeping it light, enjoying my first couple of trades through the day. There it goes. Did we already discuss offers or Musk offer to buy Twitter? Yeah, we were just talking about it. Yep. Where should we look for support? Yeah, I was just gonna say let it bleed. Just kidding. Well, right here, right? Based off of yesterday's performance, we had a pretty solid support right around that $49.50 area. So, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's almost every 50 cents. That's quite significant. But yeah, I mean, yesterday that was a double support. There was a slight resistance on the way up, broke above, pulled back, support. So we're testing that support. That was yesterday's support, right? And that was during yesterday's pretty solid pullback. So maybe it's not a bad idea to wait to see if we actually begin to pull back a little bit. Maybe. We shall see. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Okay, looks like it's trying to find its support. MACD's looking good, RSI's looking good. Again, this is kind of the, yes, TQQQ is oversold, but is it bullish, right? Being oversold is one thing. Being bullish and indicating signs of an uptrend is a completely other. Something can be very oversold. It doesn't earn it the right that it's going to rally, right? It can just continue to sell off. So make sure you don't fake yourself out when it comes down to that. So for someone who wants to start swing trading ETFs, what would you recommend? So Isaac, that's a really good question. I mean, we have one of our Learn Plan Profit members. His name is Eddie. He started about a month ago, and all he focuses on are two pairs, SQQQ and TQQQ. I would encourage you to not just focus on these, but to explore your options. Look at SPY and SPXS, right? Look at UDAO and SDAO. Look at gold ETFs. Look at natural gas, crude oil ETFs. Whatever sector is of interest to you the most, that's what I want you to pay attention to. And ask yourself, what factors are positive and negative influences for these sectors? New highs, testing new lows for TQQQ. With that being said, it's not that you should always be jumping from one side to another, right? That's one of I think, the big misconceptions about trading these ETFs, that you can go from one side to trading the other. But one of the things that I always like to ask myself is, which is the bull ETF right now, which is the bear ETF? So instead of always focusing on, hey, this one's going to continue to go up, this one's going to continue to go up, I'm going to go on this one real quick because it's going to pull back a little bit. Instead of trying to always be on the right side, it's good to understand where to be the most invested. And then the other one, that if you wanted to trade it, yes, you can, but you don't need to. It's just good to be aware, right? So as long as you have market direction, the consistent direction and pattern in your favor, and you have that risk to reward ratio that aligns with your criteria, then I think that's what matters most. So And we can break these down. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw in the announcement section. So if you guys head on over to our Discord group, in the announcement section, I talked about, on Friday, the market's going to be closed. I understand that not everyone's going to be able to come to this because it's in Arizona. But I wanted to provide, I've never actually done this before, but at the HQ for 1 hour, I wanted to have a 1 hour session in person. I wanted about 5 to 10 people of our Learn Plan Profit members to show up. We're going to sit down, answer a couple questions, work on the whiteboard, and then talk about position size. Different challenges, different obstacles in person. And again, I want to stay busy on Friday. I know that it's somewhat of a holiday. I feel very counterproductive when I don't do anything. And I thought it would be pretty cool. I thought it would be an experience that not a lot of people have been able to experience before. I didn't want to necessarily charge for it. So I wanted to make it of access to our Learn Plan Profit members. So if you're in Arizona and you're a Learn Plan Profit member, as you should be, click the link. And we're just looking for 10 people in Arizona. So it gives you our address. It tells you what time to show up. Just be there. Come with your questions. Bring a buddy. I don't care, right? There's no right or wrong. I mean, don't bring a dog. That's the only thing I'm going to ask you is like, don't bring a pet. You guys know how I feel about that. But yeah. So Ricky, will you be filming this? Yes. I will be filming it. Will I be live streaming it? I don't know. I want to get maybe in the future I can live stream it, but as of right now, I'm just going to be filming it. Have you already picked the 10 people? No, it's not like, oh, I only want these 10 people. It's anyone's welcome. So even if we go over 10, which, I mean, you have to think it's at a specific time on Friday. I understand that, not everyone can come. But if you can make it, please. I mean, I welcome you to, again, click the link in our Discord in the announcement section and just put your name down for the reservation. Please make sure that you're in Arizona though, right? I don't want people trying to fly in. It's not about that. It's nothing that crazy. It's just going to be for 1 hour. So I don't want any crazy, I want to spend all day with you. It's 1 hour. It's 1 hour. I want to really give good examples of position size, the importance of why it's so important. And yeah. All right, TQQQ looks like it's testing. What is that? Drop below. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Nice rejection off the moving average. Going to be testing that 15-minute moving average right now. Far below that one. I love it. I love to see it. Keep going. Do your thing. Do your thing. Keep it going. Woo! Are we gonna break below? There it goes. Nice to see. No animals. We hate all animals at the HQ Facts. Michael, don't say that stuff. That's funny. Should open an HQ at the East Coast. Yeah, I mean that would definitely be something I would love to. If I mean the first thing is I don't charge for it, right? So I would hope to get a good deal in the building where the appreciation. Hope you guys don't mind me talking to you guys kind of of the business side. My thing is I love investing in real estate. I hate rental income. I not that I hate it. I just don't like dealing with people as in tenants. With that being said, that's one of the main reasons that I was just let's make it for free, access to our members, and let's have some fun. My goal is also, all of our members being there and stuff like that. First, that we can provide an experience that no one else can provide. Second is, again, to meet all of you guys, and not just that, but a lot of you guys have great ideas, right? Just imagine one of those ideas at every location, becoming an actual startup, right? And I fund it. That'd be pretty cool, right? it's a great networking place. We have people that partake in e-commerce, people that partake in real estate, people that just have their own job as well, and that get some work done there. So I think that's the great thing. It's like, of course, we want a bunch of traders there, but I don't want to just stop it just at that. Especially if you're an absolute beginner, you're like, oh, I don't know how I feel visiting the HQ. I'm not ready yet. I'm not a full-on trader. I don't care. I don't care if you do your homework at the HQ. If you're part of LPP, you get access to it. You can use it as a library. I don't care, right? If you're like, I want a dual monitor setup, but I don't have that at home, come to the HQ. We have like 14 of them. All right. Here we go. Nice little push. Slight support, right? $49. What do you guys think? Should we hit the switcheroo? Kidding. I kid. But definitely, I mean, let's anticipate a pullback pretty soon for SQQQ. That should not come as a surprise. And there it goes. Just when we thought that it was overbought, a lot of selling pressure. I think today's going to be fun. Ricky, you legend. Nice. Oh, the monitor's 4K? Of course, George. What kind of monitor do you think that we're going to get you? Black and white monitor? Show us the dual monitor setups at the HQ. Well, they're actually the monitors right behind me. I don't know if you guys can see that. I took the exact setups that we have at the HQ and I built it at my house. It's like that. You have a desk, you plug in, and then you have your laptop monitor, and then you have those two. So, yeah. Pretty simple, right? Easy to use. Straight to the point. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, that is the most dad thing I think I've ever said. Ugh. I'll be going to school in Arizona next year. I will definitely come by. I like that, Alexander. Well, excited to have you. Like that. Come to Florida. What's going on, Becky? I know. I mean, we have to get the one in Arizona going first, right? If I can get, 20 to 30 members there consistently, it's difficult because people do have their jobs. They have their own lives, right? They're not at Chandler or in Chandler. It's a commute for them. So I get it. But over time, we will get there. And then once we build the HQ one in Chandler, then, and finish it, we can move on over to other locations. But as of now, this is our focus. So have you seen my messages, Sean? I don't think so. Are they here or over Discord? Any particular reason why we're selling? No, I mean, I don't see anything, especially, nor do I know of any big tech stock that's reporting earnings today. I really just think it has to do with factoring in on really asking the question, why did we go up so much yesterday? I mean, I'm all about going up, right? I'm all about being bullish, 3%, 4%. But dude, if you guys actually pay attention to how much you might ask, where did my little message yesterday come from? If you look at the overall lows to the overall highs yesterday, we moved 7.3% on TQQQ. The reason I sent out yesterday's message is because I really began to ask myself, why are we going up? I get it that the market sentiment is bullish because of Q2 earnings. They think that it's going to be a good report. I think that's great, but it hasn't even happened yet, and it's already being factored in. And it's not even that great of news, right? And with that being said, it's just the big tech stocks haven't even reported yet. TQQQ is gapping up. So at that point, I was just I became a little bit less certain. I would have felt more comfortable if TQQQ gapped up 3% or 4%. When you get to the 5, 6, 7% movement, I mean, you really begin to have to ask yourself, look out for yourself. Don't do it for me, do it for you. Look out for yourself of why are we going up so much? Does the market sentiment make sense? And if you begin to question it, you should. Anytime that you're up and you're up a great amount for no apparent reason, that's when you should ask what's going on, right? Let's say that, we're invested in Tesla, and then Elon's like, hey, I'm going to take Tesla private at $1,500 a share, and Tesla's going up, right? We're at $900 or $1,000, and it goes to 1,100, 1,200. I wouldn't begin to question myself that much there, because there's news, there's our current price, and there's the intended private price. There's a reason behind that. I can make sense of that. The market sentiment makes sense of like why Tesla's reacting the way that it is. Rightfully so. I don't think that's necessarily that much of an overreaction. But when we're gapping up for no apparent reason, I feel like to keep you level-headed, you should always be thinking about worst case scenario. So I thought the peak inflation talk, it was what pushed the market up. I feel like a lot of people then began to talk about it. I wanna personally say, based off all the different articles that I read, everyone was talking about like no, like we have not peaked. There's a lot of market analysts and stuff like that. When I really, and I don't always do this, right? I felt like I really gave my opinion in those videos recently where I broke down the CPI data. I talked about like, hey, what's the biggest sector that has negatively influenced inflation rates? And then I was like, it's oil, right? It looked like it was oil. To my understanding, it was oil. And I was just like, well, I don't really see oil getting that much worse. So it's not that we're at the peak, but it's that we might be peaking pretty soon. Watch out for TQQQ right now. So with that being said, that's why I made that video of like, hey, I potentially see that this month could be the peak. It didn't mean that like, hey, the market's going to recover tomorrow. It just meant that like last time this happened, a lot of people missed the opportunity to be invested. And even with how the market reacted, we gapped up. That was great. Everyone was super happy. Thank you so much, Ricky. Like, I didn't even know that the market was going to recover that great. So therefore, that's why I felt like I even needed to take more responsibility as of yesterday to remind people that like, yo, like things are not necessarily not getting better. It's not even that they're not getting worse. It's that we still don't know. So you can't just think that we're going to recover all of a sudden for no apparent reason this early on. So I just wanted to make sure that my video was not taken in bad context, that the market was going to recover from that day after, right? It can still take an entire month. We still have to see that CPI data that gets then reported next month. And that's what I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of. So here it goes, TQQQ building its support. It's looking good. It's setting up pretty nicely. But will it hold? So are there any significant reports or upcoming meetings? To my understanding, no. I looked at the, it's like the BLS, or is it GLS? I don't know what it is. No, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, yeah. Website, and no, I didn't see anything significant. Sometimes they throw in some random discussions is what they call them. They don't even call them meetings. They're like Jerome Powell discussion. As of right now, to my understanding, they have not been announced, but it wouldn't surprise me if a random discussion is announced and we have to prepare for it a couple days in advance, right? Anytime that is announced, it gets factored into the market anticipation literally the day before. So yeah, just make sure that we're aware of that. Ricky, do you still have red days? Of course. What the heck? I had a red day. I had a red trade yesterday, right? SQQQ. I didn't end up recovering. I think I was down like 1,500, 1,700. I recovered a part of it, but not all of it. I was actually down less than 1,000, which was like exciting for me. And then I took another trade. I think I announced it in the main chat, and then I put myself back at like a 650 loss on top of my like 1,100. So I tried, but I felt myself forcing these trades too much, and I was like, yeah. So I gave up, and I was like, I'll accept that red trade, but I made 4,700 off of TQQQ. I would have made much more money if I would have just cut my losses on SQQQ and focused on TQQQ. That's what I was upset about yesterday. With that being said, also 2 days before that, I had another $1,500 loss on TQQQ, I believe. So yeah, I've had one red day and then another red trade this week. So I have them all the time. Yeah, it's not like rare, right? But my goal isn't to avoid these red days. It's just to manage them, to try to do better every time when these red days do happen. That's all we can do. Your job is not to avoid risk, it's to manage it. So let's embrace that. So BA is pushing up. All right. Nice little gap up. Okay. Yeah, Bowen. This thing is just so bearish. I would be very, very careful. We got Netflix reporting earnings soon. I think Netflix has reported negative earnings like the most I've ever seen. And these are solid drops it has. Yeah, I would be very careful with that one. But SQQQ looking decent on that reversal. Wow, it's already picking back up. Do you see that momentum though? It takes forever for it to pull on back. A lot of people ask, like, how do you know when something is bearish and when something is bullish? You'll see this, especially with these TQQQs and SQQQ. When something is bullish on the day, it rises, it has a great momentum, it still peaks and pulls back, but it takes forever. It takes 10 minutes maybe for it to pull back, 10, 15 minutes, and it takes 1 or 2 minutes for it to recover. This was like TQQQ yesterday. TQQQ yesterday, it rallies, it takes forever for it to pull back, and then it recovers so quickly. Momentum and in the way that it recovers is a great representation of asking like those difficult questions. Like, hey, are we indicating signs of an uptrend? Do we still have that momentum? It's not, are we still rising? Because we could be rising, but at a very slow rate. At that point, do you still want to partake in it? Are you as efficient? Check that out. New lows on this. Watch for the break below $49. It's not going to be too good for TQQQ there. So how do you know where to label for your keyboard? You can label it whatever you want. There it goes. Break below, break above $39, break below $48.84. You can, on the keyboard, so for these hotkeys, you can name them anything you want. You can use whatever you want. I keep it pretty simple where I use like Command S for sell and Command B for buy. That's all. And then if you want like the limit buy and the market buy, then I put one next to my buy, but make it a market, and the one next to the B, I make it a market. And yeah, it's pretty simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Is my screen blurry? Hey, screen is blurry. Is it? Do apologize for that. I don't know what I'm doing wrong over here. Huge push on SQQQ. Love to see it. Alrighty. We are approaching previous resistance level. So let me check this out because there was something significant here. That's why I set the alert there. Okay, I'm gonna have to zoom in a little bit closer. 5-minute time frame. This is where we're approaching 48.75. It was 48.50 that we saw a lot of consolidation, slight resistance, and okay, it was yesterday's. Do you guys remember this? Pre-market resistance here, 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 right around that general area, and that's what, when we broke above it, that's when we really began to take off. So very overbought right now for SQQQ. Let's not get too confident. We're pretty oversold for TQQQ. But now it's asking that difficult question: have we sold off enough? It looks bearish. It still looks bearish. Obviously, it's much. Yeah, look at that, and rejection off that moving average. I feel like that's pretty easy to see. Rejection off that moving average, lower highs, lower lows. Not bad. Trying to see if there's anything else I should be looking out for. No, strong rejection off of that EMA on the 4-hour even. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a solid rejection just like every other time, and we make new lows. So, yeah, team, it's just a bearish day for the market. And there it goes. Nice little gap up. Love to see it. There it goes. Here comes the breakout. 39.50. 39.50. Wow. Lovely. Again, a lot of this resistance, right, was yesterday. It was a previous support level. So if we break above that, I mean, the next one's going to be $40, and then the next one's going to be $40.60. I feel like that's pretty easy to see for you guys. We are very overbought, but we are very bullish. If we break above this, that's most likely when we're going to have to step on the gas and see if we can, make that difference. So nice little pullback, let it bleed. I mean, I'm pretty light with my position anyways. I would love to step on the gas, and if direction's in my favor, if that momentum is in place and the risk to reward ratios are all aligning, right? It's like the stars are aligning for me. Let me run with it. There's no reason not to. So screen is okay, not blurry. All right, I like that. So how will you know that it will break out? I don't, not at all. It's never that. I mean, yesterday I was trading something that I thought that was going to break out as well, and I was wrong, right? And I had to take a loss for it. It's a risk that I'm willing. It's not a risk that you have to take. It's asking yourself, is it worth it? I mean, I can lock in my profits right now, right, on AskQQQ, because that breakout doesn't have to happen. This could be the peak, 100%. You are correct in that sense of, I don't know that it's going to happen. It's asking myself that question: does the upside outweigh my downside? And at what price does that come at, right? At what risk does that come at? Is this something that you want to partake? You can close out your entire position right now, and if we do break above, you can always re-enter. I don't want you to ever think that the way that I'm doing it is the best way. That honestly would have been the more conservative way for me to do it yesterday. And it probably would have paid off a little bit better, that I lock it in, I play it safe, and if we break above, great. And if not, then I'll just jump into the inverse, right? Very easy. I was greedy yesterday. The only reason I'm justifying holding is because my position size is so light. I can tolerate the pullback very easily. I learned from my mistake yesterday. I mean, I'm literally like 11,000 is probably the least I will be invested in anything today. It's just, you have to think like that's like, it's relative to what we trade with, right? That's about 0.3% of, or 3% of what I am going to be trading with, most likely, when I'm fully invested. So I don't know what you trade with, but try to calculate 3% of that. That's like barely any skin in the game, right? It's all relative to what the dollar amount that you're trading with. So you need to understand that. How many times can you jump in and out? I'm not under the PDT rule, so I can do it as many times as I want, but it's not about that. It's not as many times as I want. It's as many times as it makes sense to do. I feel like that's a better way to approach it, right? Locked in here, very overbought for me. I like that, William, especially if you had more money invested based off of your overall account size. I 100% agree with you. I never want, and I'm telling you guys all this, I never want any of you guys to ever hold your position because I'm holding. I would rather you be more conservative. You need to understand that you're learning how to trade. The making money part comes later. Ask yourself a simple question today. Are you trading right now with the same dollar amount you plan to be 1 year from now or 5 years from now? Probably not, right? Plan to trade with a lot more. Why? Because you're going to gain experience, you're going to gain confidence, and you're going to want to scale what you've learned. So focus on learning. That should every morning you should read that message of like, I am not trading to make a profit right now. The profit's just the cherry on top. If you can walk away making money right now as you're learning how to do something, imagine you going to school and getting paid to go to school. That's the way that I view it. You shouldn't even be in the field to really make money, yet you're already getting paid. It's the positive takeaway of trading the market, but very few treat it that way. Very few approach it and give it time, right? Anything worth doing in life takes time and is challenging. But when you overcome the challenges, it tends to follow with the greatest fulfillment. So locked in $200 profit. I love it. And again, if you guys want to tag me on Instagram, I would love to repost you, especially if you guys have like your trading setups and all of that. I would love to repost you. And I love hyping you guys up. I want to make you guys feel good, as long as you understand that you're going to keep a level head, right? I want to hype you up. I want to show you off to everyone. But with that being said, you need to keep a level head, because it's not on your green days that really defines you as a trader. It's on your red days and how you manage it, because our job again is not to avoid red days, it's simply to manage them. So I had a lot of fun trading with you guys. I have a meeting at 8 a.m. that I have to prepare for, so I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope and wish you guys an amazing rest of your day. I will keep you guys up to date in the announcement section. I have to film today's video, go to my meeting, and then continue my day throughout with that. Again, we have our HQ we have our HQ 1 hour session. Go to the announcement section of our Discord. So I'll show you guys right here. The announcement section of the Discord, and you guys can see that yesterday I posted this, that market is closed on Friday. We're going to have a 1 hour session, and you guys can sign up. Again, we're looking for just about 10 to 15 people that are in the area that, want to come and hang out, get some work done, and learn about position size in person. So again, I'd love to see you guys there. I'd love to put a face to the username, and we can go from there. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Friendly reminder, 25% off the entire mousepad collection, and we're coming up on one of the last days. So if you guys like any of our trading mousepads, if you think that you have a boring trading setup, any mousepad, 25% off today. It applies automatically. And yeah, so that's at shop.techbuds.com. I appreciate you guys' time. Like always, continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be a driver of success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team. So Ricky, why don't you trade options? I view them to be too risky. That's just my opinion. But Vincino,